All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, January 15th. We've got a big NBA slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the spread. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other leans or plays that we like in the game, like player props. But as always, all of my final plays, if you do want to fade me and do the opposite, those plays are going to be in the pinned comment. Last night, not our best craft of work here. We go 1 and 3. Terry Rozier finished with 7 assists. Anthony Edwards had a couple rebounds in the first quarter. He actually had 9 rebounds on the game, so didn't really see that one coming. And then our same game parlay, Kings and Bucks, looked okay. De'Aaron Fox didn't grab his boards. I guess the one little piece of positive here is that we hit our plus money play with Yusuf Nurkic over 12.5 points. He finished with 14, so yeah, not our best body of work here, and even now I'm just noticing that the Kings, I spelled Kinga, so the Kinga and Bucks game did not come through for us. But on to brighter news here. We're back in the dub column, actually 2 days in a row with the Ride of the Day winning. That being said, the Ride of the Day from yesterday or 2 days ago's video did not respond to the Ride of the Day, so they lose their spot. But luckily we jumped on board with NYCJ here for Russell Westbrook, over 10.5 points plus assists. Russell Westbrook covered this alone in both points and assists. So shout out to NYCJ. And now we're riding with you. So make sure to get your comments in, guys. Again, if you're the Ride of the Day and you win, we'll keep riding with you. But if you don't submit a comment, then we got to pick someone new, which is what happened yesterday. And if you want to be the Ride of the Day in a future video, all you got to use is that hashtag Ride of the Day in the comments. Give me an absolute lock of a pick. I'm paying attention to usernames and all that good stuff to see who is getting hot. So then once, you know, the Ride of the Day, or if the Ride of the Day fails us one day, we know exactly whose number to call on in the next video. But yeah, use that hashtag Ride of the Day. Also follow me on X, guys. I'm posting that Ride of the Day screenshot over on X prior to game and all that when we do pick the Ride of the Day. So follow me over there. Following everyone back today, and honestly, if I haven't followed you back and you followed me the last couple days, just tweet at me, be like, hey, what's going on? Follow me back. I'll follow you back, all right? So even if you just want a new Twitter follower, go follow me over there. But let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 here. Joel Embiid listed as questionable in this Sixers and Rockets game, so I think in terms of like true final plays here, I want to, I guess, wait out to see what the status with him is. He truly is a game time decision, and this game, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's a 1 o'clock p.m. game, so it's like, all right, is he playing, is he not? If he plays, I like the Sixers. Do we have enough time to, you know, suss that out? We shall see, but I like the Sixers minus the points if he plays. In terms of a total 227, if Embiid plays, I also like this game going over ever so slightly, but a play that I like in this game, kind of regardless if Embiid plays or not, and we'll flash over to Outlier here, guys. By the way, if you want to check out Outlier, link in the pinned comment, 7 days free. After that, it's only $19.99 a month, so a very price manageable tool anyways, but go get 7 days free here. I like Tyrese Maxey here, under 30.5 points plus rebounds. So he's hit the under here in 55% of games this in the last 20 here with Embiid on the floor. I do think he has less opportunity, and you can see he's hit the under far less, but when he does go under, he's far below. I think that this is going to be a good spot for him against a Rockets team that's allowing the 9th fewest points to point guards and 7th fewest rebounds to the point guards here on the season. If we look at it from a last 7 perspective, Rockets allowing the 2nd fewest points over the last 7 to the point guard position. So yes, it's tough to fade Maxey. I get it. We did it a couple nights back with his PRA line because it was too high, and I liked it. I don't mind his PRA line tonight either, or today either, but I do think that, you know, assists, he does have that big behemoth of a Joel Embiid now to pass the ball to, so kind of leaving assists off of that. But keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if anything makes its way into the final plays for this game. Next up, we got the Mavs taking on the Pels here. These guys just faced off a couple nights back on January 13th, and the Pelicans won 118 to 108, which they were an underdog. It was one of my leans in the video. I wish we rolled with it because I did like it a lot. Luka is doubtful in this one, so assuming he doesn't play again, we're kind of looking at a very similar game. Zion is actually on the injury report, as is Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, but they're all probable, so we're just assuming here that these guys are playing and Luka's not for the sake of this video, right? So if he does play, I guess that would obviously throw a wrench into things, but Give me the Pelicans again. Without Luka, excuse me, this Dallas team is super inconsistent, and it just becomes the Kyrie Irving show, which, you know, I'm not knocking Kyrie for that, but that's just the type of player Kyrie is too, right? Like, give me a bunch of nothing, and I can go drop 35, make a game of it, like he did it against the Knicks, right? Like, he is that good that he can keep a game in it, but I don't think he's good enough to beat a team like the Pelicans who's playing good basketball. Pelicans have won 7 of their last 10. They've covered in 6 of their last 10, and they're beating some decent teams here, you know? So I'm going to give them a little bit of credit here. Slight lean towards the Pelicans. They are on the road, but you know what? They just beat this team by 10 on the road a couple nights back, so I assume they can do it again. I know the saying, it's hard to beat the team twice and all that. Sure, I get it. In terms of a total here, 236 is actually what it's at on most sports books. Little too high for me. Without Luka, I think that this Dallas offense obviously is a little bit less fluid. And New Orleans, you know, if they're going to get going and they're going to play some good basketball, I imagine that they're able to kind of slow Dallas down. Dallas obviously plays a lot of pace, but again, without Luka, even with Luka, they're actually not the most efficient offense. They do play with a lot of pace, but I think that this is going to be a Pelicans team that, you know, they're bottom half of the league in terms of pace. They can slow this game down. We saw it last game. Player prop I really like in this game, and it's actually for plus money. Let's flash up Outlier again so I could show you. Under 6.5 assists for Kyrie Irving. Yes, he's getting very close there. Last game he didn't hit it, but on the season he's only gone over 6 assists 5 times, right? And Luka's not in. I get it, so we can filter out Luka. We've already gone through this. He's only hit it once this season without Luka. And what I'll say is obviously Pelicans really good when it comes to point guards assists, but look at this. Plus 124. Like, we played this at, what was it, like minus 110 last game, and plus 124 now. And look at all other books, plus 114, plus 110, plus 110. DraftKings, we're getting this at plus 124 now. We're already getting some expected value. So, yeah, maybe Kyrie Irving can go smash that. I get it. But for that value and for the track record that we have, it's like the trends and the sportsbook value adds up. Seems like it could be a final play to me. So we'll see about that, guys. And by the way, I forgot to ask you, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We're cruising towards 50,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy to say. You guys have been absolutely electric in terms of support as of late. So shout out to you guys. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new and like the video as well. All right, Knicks taking on the Magic. Jalen Brunson is on the injury report. He is questionable here with a calf, so keep an eye on that. I believe he missed last game, or yeah, he missed last game, so let's see if he plays tonight, because that's going to be a huge piece, obviously. But he was questionable up until that game, so maybe it's not as bad as we think. So just keep an eye on the injury report here. In terms of what we like in this game, I think you got to keep looking at New York. They're playing really good basketball. Give them their credit. They are at home here. This is the first game back after a couple games on the road, so maybe that hurts them a little bit. But Orlando's still kind of just in the middle of this bad road trip, like you know, losing to Miami, losing to OKC, and again, they don't have Franz Wagner, who I think people are like, oh, they'll be okay. They got a bunch of young guys. They suffered. This is like the take of Orlando when he first got injured, right? Well, they've been injured guys in and out all the time this season. They're so young and deep that a new guy will come in. I think we're learning that that dude is damn important to their team, right? Because the offense has just looked like 92, 96, 100 points since he's been out. Like, yeah, that's a dude that is a huge piece of their offense. And, you know, I think we knew that, but did we know it? Because they've been fadeable since he's been hurt. So he's still hurt here, and I'm still going to look to potentially fade them here. So give me the Knicks here, minus the 7 points. I see this at 6.5 on Bet365. I'm hoping we can get something like that, because obviously it's just a better line. In terms of the total, 221. I know I just ragged on the offense here of Orlando, but this Knicks offense has actually been playing good. Their defense has been really good as well, so it's like, do I think that they score enough to also hold, you know, the Orlando to a low point total, but they do enough to get to this number? I kind of do. I think that this Knicks team can score 120 plus, and then it's like, can the Magic just do something, right? I don't need, you know, 98 points from them. Like, can we get like a 109 type of a game, and we're looking at an over here? I like the over in this spot just because I think that Knicks offense is to some degree kind of rolling here. Now, there's really barely any player props out right now for this game. The only lines I'm seeing are for Bencaro, Bitadze, Jalen Brunson, weirdly enough, and Jalen Suggs. Not really liking anything in this spot, so we'll keep you guys updated in the pinned comment if there's anything that we end up rolling with in this spot. But again, I don't know if I like any player props in this spot anyway, so we'll see. All right, guys, before we continue on with this slate, I do want to talk to you about the merch brand here, Fade Me, that we have on the channel. We've put so much work into this brand. Everyone that's got something, we've gotten positive feedback and just sort of, I guess, good reviews about how good the product is, because this isn't just, I see comments all the time, stop pushing your YouTuber brand. It's like, okay, buddy, settle down. This is not what we consider that. We put a lot of time and effort into that. So if you do want to support what we're doing here and get some great merch at the same time, head over to fademe.store, guys. Tons of cool merch over there. These are our best sellers. I'm actually wearing the premium hoodie right now. This thing is like light and heavy at the same time, super comfortable, but we have tons of stuff for everybody here. So go ahead and check it out, fademe.store. I'll also put that link in the pinned comment if you guys do want to go ahead and check it out easily. But yeah, if you want to support what we're doing here and pick up some great merch, go ahead and consider the Fade Me store. Washington taking on the Pistons. I don't even know if I really want to look at this game or consider this game. I guess I like the Pistons because it's going to be like more fun to root for them in this spot, and this is like a game that they could compete in. Now, obviously, they're dealing with injuries. Cade Cunningham still out. Bogdanov just questionable in this one, so it's like, is it worth doing? Like, I don't think that we can safely bet on either one of these teams. I will say the total to me seems a little bit too high. Like this should be a garbage game. I know there's not going to be much defense played, but are we going to forget that, like, even if, you know, Washington has such a bad defense, like, the Pistons still have to score, which they struggle to do at times too, right? So maybe I look at the over, and God, you're not catching me finding any true player props in this game that I like. So I'll probably stick away from this game altogether. If you ready, this is for you. That psycho alert alarm is if you have a strong opinion on this game, man, I either give you credit or think you're a weirdo. One of those two, but, you know, maybe they're both, like, perfectly aligned, right? Like, you're just, you're a genius weirdo out there, because this game is going to be trash. Next up, we got the Hawks. By the way, let me know in the comments if you guys are, you know, firm on something in that Pistons and Washington game, because I'd love to see what psychos we got in the comments. So shout out, hats off to you guys if you are betting that game. You guys got bigger cojones than me. But anyways, we got the Hawks taking on the Spurs here. This is a big number at 7.5. This is a big number, and I've seen 8 on some books as well. So if it gets up to 8, it's even bigger. That's the math scientist in me, mathematician in me. But, you know, I don't really love the Hawks in this spot. Like, you could be like, oh, they're at home, but what have I told you? They're the worst team against the spread at home this season by far, worst against the spread team by far. And San Antonio, like, don't look now, but they've covered in 6 straight games and in 7 of their last 10. Most of which coming at home, but, like, it's the Hawks. I don't think it's going to matter that much, so give me San Antonio. Here I am, like, ragging on you guys for, like, if you have a play on the Pistons Wizards, and the next lean I give is Spurs. Like, wow. Wow. Comment psycho if you guys made it this far in the video and you just watch that all happen, because I'm literally like, you guys are psychos for you know, talking Pistons and Wizards, and I then lean Spurs right afterwards. You can't write it up better than that. In terms of the total here, 245, like, I get why this total is so high, and I probably do, you know, think that this one gets near that number, but ultimately I think I'm gonna lean towards the under. I think this game could be like a 243 game, right? So it's like very slightly, and I don't think that it becomes a final play. Weirdly enough, the Spurs plus the 8 plus the 7.5, whatever it is, actually has a better chance of being a final play. Also, nothing jumped off the page in terms of player props to me in this spot. Still waiting on some players' lines to be available here, but yeah, I don't see, I mean, obviously a lot of points are expected to be scored in this game, so maybe we can look at some overs, but I don't see anything that really jumps off the page to me. If we can get Wembanyama's over first quarter rebounds again, I like that. That might be something that we just continue to cash, but I've seen a couple books offered at 2.5 now, so maybe that money tree is run out, right? But we'll keep an eye on the lines as we go here. All right, Grizzlies taking on the Warriors. And you guys know how I've, you know, taken a few times this year the under on Steph Curry's rebounds plus assists. My favorite look in this game is actually going to be the over on Steph Curry's rebounds plus assists, because this thing has moved all the way down from where it was sitting for a few weeks at 10.5. You know, it's been 9.5 for most of the season, moved up to 10.5. We were cashing the under. Now it's at 8.5. And this is a Warriors team that obviously is struggling, so I don't expect them to necessarily blow out the Grizzlies. In his last 5 games here, Steph averaging 5 potential assists per game, and in terms of rebounds, he's averaging 6 potential rebounds. So we're looking at a floor of 8. Like, that should be his floor. If he gets a rebound here by, you know, by happenstance or even an assist, we're looking at 9 in that cashes. So as weird as it is, that's my favorite play in this game. We don't usually lead with player props in the game, but this game is so weird to me. The Warriors are kind of down bad. The Grizzlies have more injuries than, you know, your grandma's ex-boyfriend with the hip problem. Like, this is just not a clean game to me. Even the total is like right in that sweet spot of 226. It's like, I don't know. Like, I could see this being a 227, 228 game, not much margin there. So yeah, I think the only play that I really like in this game is Steph's over 8.5 rebounds plus assists. The Grizzlies don't do much against point guards in terms of preventing that. Steph hit it in his last 2 games against them in terms of what he did last game as well. He had 14, he had 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 rebounds against Chicago, which is a very good point guard defense. So yeah, it's kind of the only thing I have in this one. I guess, you know, if I had a gun to my head, I don't. I would lean Warriors just because they're more put together right now, less injuries. But yeah, really not my favorite game on the slate. In fact, we just kind of went through a gauntlet of games that I don't really like in those last 3. All right, Cleveland taking on Chicago here. Chicago coming off of a game in which, you know, they looked pretty good, I guess. They beat San Antonio by, what was it, 6 points. We pushed in that game. We had them 6. They closed at 7, so it's like we got them at a good number. They looked okay, but San Antonio, obviously a bad team, but San Antonio is a cover machine right now, so I think I give them like a quality-ish win against them, but Cleveland's playing some good basketball. Like, they really are. They've won 4 straight games. They're still at home here. My only concern is that in a couple games they're playing Milwaukee. Are they looking ahead to that? But they shouldn't, right? Like, that's in 2 days. So I'm gonna lean towards Cleveland here minus the 3.5 points. This just seems like a good spot where they're a better team. And Chicago, again, on the road this year, they have struggled. Like, they're a good home team. No one can knock them for that, but they just have struggled on the road. This season against the spread as a road team here, they're 8-10 against the spread. So it's not terrible, but look at their home numbers, it's a little bit different. So yeah, I'll take Cleveland. In terms of a total in this spot, it is surprising that it's this low, but I guess not surprising at the same time. But I'm going to lean towards the over. I think that Cleveland, you know, the way that they're playing, pretty decent offense. Like, it's not this score 150 offense, but they're really giving you like the fastball, right? Like 114, 117, 111. And, you know, their defense has been playing well, but you look at Chicago, they've been running and gunning 120 plus in their last 3 games. So I'll take the over in this spot. A player prop I like, DeMar DeRozan. You know, I've been hammering his assists. I kind of like his over 24.5 points plus assists tonight. He's only hit it in 6 of his last 10 and in 2 of his last 5. But out of those 3 that he hasn't hit in his last 5, he ended with 23, 23, and 24. So the dude has literally been 1 bucket away from cashing this in 3 of those 4 misses in the last 10 and 3 of those 3 misses, all 3 misses in the last 5. So I like the spot here. They played a couple days, you know, late December here, and he had 29. He had 21 points and 8 assists against his Cavs team. Go do that again, DeMar. All right, Toronto taking on the Celtics. Like, I always got to tell you, I am a Celtics fan, so maybe there's a little bias here, but I don't think 7 points is enough to give the Raptors here. I think that this could easily be a spot in which, you know, they're getting more points. Now, that being said, they've played a few times this season, right? And the Raptors have covered in 2 of those 3 games. They're always making it close, but this is a different Raptors team, and this is a Raptors team that, you know, you could make the argument that we're looking at, or at least, you know, from the majority of the times that they've played, that they're more of an offensively minded team in a sense. They looked good after the trade. They haven't as of late, right? Like, they just haven't. So it is kind of like, okay, well, you know what? Fine. They've kept it close. New team, old team, however you want to cut it up. I think that the Celtics are just head and shoulders better right now. Now, Jaylen Brown's questionable. That's obviously a huge hit, but I think 7 points, I'm happy to lay as the Celtics. But again, maybe I'm biased. Total sitting at 242. I think that that's a little bit too high. I know the Raptors defense isn't anything all that great right now, but I think the Celtics can win this one like 125, 110, right? Which is like a decently high scoring pace game and all that, but still only finishing like, you know, 8 points below, 7 points below this number. So I like that. In terms of player prop here, nothing really jumping off the page to me. The way the Celtics have been playing, you know, it's either like overtime back and forth game or blowout or they get blown out. It's like, tough to judge Celtics player props right now, which is a good thing as a Celtics fan, because it's like, who knows who's going to go off? Even Drew Holiday's lines are inflated right now, right? So it is tough to see that. One thing I don't mind looking at, I guess could be Pascal Siakam here against the Celtics. Just seems to like shred them, right? So I could look at his PRA or his points plus rebounds in this spot. He's covered both of those in 5 of his last 7 games against the Celtics and 2 of the last 3 this season. So yeah, that could be a spot that I look. I don't like love it, but if we wanted a player prop in this game, that might be the spot, Pascal Siakam, because again, he does something to the Celtics. All right, Brooklyn taking on Miami. While I do think that this could be a close game, I do think I give the edge to Miami here. And they're getting points. No Jaime Jaquez, he's out here. Kevin Love questionable. Jimmy Butler still out as well. Brooklyn's pretty much full strength. Dorian Finney-Smith, the only one on the injury report here. But yeah, I like Miami in this spot. The only thing that kind of worries me is as of late, and I say as of late, the last like couple seasons, right? Brooklyn has just owned Miami. In their last 7 meetings, Brooklyn has won 6 of these and covered in 5 of them. But Miami's playing better basketball right now. They haven't had a tough little stretch of games, whereas Brooklyn, they have had some bad team that they've had to, suffer losses to, and it's like, oh boy, what's going on with them? Because they were the most profitable team through like the first month of the year, of the season, and then it's like, oh boy, since then, right? So hopefully that's still the case. This is a weird one. Like I said, it could be a close game. I think it will be a close game. So I'm going to lean towards Miami, but I think that may stay as a lean if I'm being completely honest. Now, the total sitting at 217.5. If Miami leads the charge, I think it's an under. If Brooklyn leads the charge, I think this game goes slightly over. Now, they played earlier in the year. Brooklyn won 112-97. They played earlier in the year. Miami won 122-115, which, again, I think that could be sort of what we're looking at here. Then they played earlier in the year 3 times this year, and it was a 109-105 game. So it's like ups and downs in terms of the pace of this game. So again, this probably all stays as leans. And again, a lot of guys out on the Miami side of things, not much on the Brooklyn, but still no player props really jump out to me at this point. All right, Jazz taking on the Pacers. So the Pacers covered yesterday. Good for them. Again, the jury in my book is still out on how they'll play without Halliburton. They had been playing well. Yesterday, they even, I guess you could say, played well. They lost by 8. They covered their number, though, so I give them a little bit of credit, but this Utah team's rolling. Like, this Utah team is rolling right now, and sure, this will stop at some point because I don't think they're that complete of a team, right? But for now, I don't think that it's scary to bet this Utah team, especially at home. So give me the Jazz here. I also like Colin Sexton's over in points at 20.5. If you want to get it down to, 19.5 from -130, I don't hate that either. He's hit that in 7 of his last 10 and 4 of his last 5. I like that spot here. Now, he hasn't hit it against Indiana, but he only played, I believe, minutes-wise, he only played like 15 minutes the last time they played this season. And the Pacers, as we know, allow plenty of points. I don't care if it's Halliburton or not. This is a team that does not really have the defensive gene, right? They do cover point guards fairly well as of late. So since Halliburton's been out, they've gotten a little bit more defensive, but on the season, allowing plenty of points to the point guard position. It's just kind of switched up as of late. But I still think Colin Sexton is shifty enough and quick enough that, he can drop 20 points on them. So that's going to be my main player prop lean in this game. Now, the spread sitting at 247.5. I think that the Jazz are the ones that sort of run this score up. So I'm going to lean towards the over, but it's not the typical, it's because the Pacers are playing. Like, no, I think that this is going to be a spot in which the Jazz up the tempo, and as much as I rag on the Pacers for not being the Pacers without Halliburton, they're still capable of running. Like, Halliburton was only I think it was 6th or 7th ranked pace individual player on that team, right? So they'll keep up with the Jazz team if Jazz wants to run. Now, when they play teams like Denver, this is really important, I think, betting on the Pacers without Halliburton, when Denver slows it down, that's where the Pacers can't really change the momentum and change the pace without Halliburton. But if the Jazz are going to go, all right, let's play fast, I think the Pacers are going to go, okay, we've been doing this all year. So I like the over in this spot, even though it is a really big number. All right, Lakers taking on OKC, and I'll tell you guys, my initial gut is don't overthink this. It's OKC, right? It's OKC. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander questionable, and they're underdogs. So something tells me he's probably not playing. This game comes down to Shai's availability. If Shai plays, I like OKC. If he doesn't, then honestly, I think the Lakers could crush the Thunder. We just talked about Halliburton making that team go in Indiana. Shai is the Thunder. I don't care if they have Holmgren or Giddey or Williams. Let's be real. They're number 1 in drives and scores off drives and points. And it's all because Shai does that, and he's number 1 in all that. So he's the heartbeat there. If he doesn't play, I don't necessarily think that this is a spot for the Thunder. I mean, at least it's a pass at very best, I should say, because, yeah, this Lakers team hasn't really been the most bettable team this year overall, right? And not as of late either. They've only covered in 3 of their last 10 games, but they're at home now. And I do think that they, feel a little bit more comfortable at home. Playing a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander less Thunder team just doesn't seem like a smart bet on that side. So I'm going to lean in that direction here. Now, Shai has a couple player props available, so maybe he plays. And again, if he plays and we get, I guess, confirmation that he's healthy, I like the Thunder. It's not oh, I think the Lakers are going to have a good game. No, I think that, like, the Thunder depend on Shea, and if he's good to go, then I think this bet's good to go, taking the Thunder plus the points. I just don't know if he plays. In terms of a total here, 237. If Shea doesn't play, I also don't think that I touch this total. If he plays, I don't mind the over, though. So hate to end the show today with like the video today with like I'm not really sure because of injuries, but like, come on, it's a short list of teams that depend on their players more than Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and he's questionable here. So not exactly sure where we're going in direction of this game. It's going to come down to that, but that's going to wrap for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.